What would you do if your faith was tested in the line of those who hated the Catholicism faith? Last time on March Martyrs, we talked about St. Thomas More, a martyr during the English reign of Henry VIII and the beginning of the Tudor Monarchs. This time on March Martyrs, we're going to be taking a look at my confirmation name's sake, which is Blessed Ignatius Maloyan, who you will learn more about in this episode of March Martyrs. Blessed Ignatius Maloyan was born as Tudor Maloyan on April 8th, 1869, in Mardin, as a territory in the Ottoman Empire. When he was 14 years old, he was sent to the parish priest to the Armenian Catholic Cathedral in Lebanon. He completed his theological studies on August 6, 1896, and adopted the religious name of Ignatius in honor of the first-century martyr Ignatius of Antioch. Between the years 1897 and 1910, Ignatius Maloyan served as a parish priest in Alexandria and Cairo, Egypt. Maloyan served in Constantinople as an assistant to the Armenian Catholic Patriarch Paul Petros XII Sabian in 1904. According to the historian Charles A. Frazee, the Patriarch chose to continue the policies of his predecessor, but did not protest against the Turkish and Kurdish massacres of his faithful. Instead, he focused upon giving humanitarian relief to the survivors. But this wouldn't be the end of the great martyr that we know and love today. There was a specific genocide known as the Armenian Genocide, and it took place during World War I. And conscription and mobilization of adult males, which included Christians, began in Mardin in August of 1914. The house searches and public executions of both real and imagined deserters became a daily occurrence. This was under the Ottoman Empire and its army, and they requisitioned both goods from Christian-owned shops and draft animals for military use. The detailed Arabic language diary of a Syriac Catholic priest also records multiple cases of random violence and murders of the Christians during the Mardin province. On December 13th, 1914, Himili Bey was appointed the Musarrif of Mardin. Upon arrival, Himili Bey was polite and proper towards Archbishops Maloyan and Gabriel Tapuni, who we don't know very much about, and promised to help them with their problems. Soon after, when accusations spread that more Christian deserters were hiding in the area, both archbishops met with the Musarrif, the police chief, and the head of the military garrison and requested a list of names so that they might help with the search. It was interpreted by Himili Bey as a sign of upright love of the state. On February 11th of 1915, Ignatius attended a dinner at the Archbishop Tapudin's residence, which the Musarrif attended as well. Following the beginning of the Gallipoli campaign in March of 1915, rumors reached Mardin of plans that exterminated the empire's Christian population. That same month, Mehmed Rashid was appointed the new Vali of Diyarbakir and arrived with a small private death squad composed of Syrian volunteers. On March 28th, which was in that year Palm Sunday, Turkish soldiers entered all the churches for mass arrests of alleged deserters, including deacons who previously had been exempt from the draft. The military continued to harass both the Armenian and Assyrian churchgoers all through Holy Week and Easter Sunday, when spent with Sacred Hearts and fearful, restless minds. Hoping to save lives, Ignatius made every opportunity to express his archdiocese loyalty to the Ottoman Empire. For these statements, Maloyan was informed on April 6th he was to receive a medal from Sultan Mehmed V. On April 13th of that year, a militia unit was informed of Muslim volunteers, which increased the worry of local Christians. On April 20th, the medal arrived and publicly presented it to Archbishop Maloyan, along with a proclamation from the sultans. In his acceptance speech, Ignatius expressed hope for the continued heart of the Sultan Mehmet and the success of the ministers and generals in leading the Ottoman Empire to victory over the Allies. Sooner or later, on May 25th, Rezet Bey arrived in Mardin and verbally ordered Himli Bey, the Mustarif, to arrest the Christian leaders of the Mardin province. On June 1st of that year, Archbishop Maloyan met with Gabriel Tapuni, the Syriac Catholic of Archbishop Mardin, and he read aloud the letter that was written to prepare his clergy and faithful to martyrdom. Folded it and gave it to Tapuni with the words, "Keep this testament on you." Although Tapuni tried to console him, Maloyan replied, "I know for sure that I and my congregation will be condemned to torture and death. I expect them to come and arrest us any day. It is unavoidable. Pray for me. I suspect that this will be the last time I will see you." What the Archbishop's real letter said was, "I urge you, first of all, to strengthen your faith and trust in the Holy Church," which goes back to the teachings from St. Peter, whom Jesus Christ chose to be the rock on which he built his holy church, and made from the apostles' and martyrs' blood its foundation, where it could be granted that this gift, where blood our sinners, become worthy to be mixed with the blood of these holy saints. My dear children, I entrust in you God, and ask you to pray for me so that he may grant me the strength and courage till the shedding of my blood, so I would spend this perishable time in his grace and love. On June 19th, 1915, Archbishop Maloyan and all the other prisoners were tried. Between that letter and June 9th, he was tried and found guilty and informed that the Vali had summoned them. They would be leaving for Diyarbakir the following day. At this point, Maloyan and all the other prisoners realized they were going to die. However, Archbishop Maloyan was found killed, and then he was repeatedly shot before saying the final words, "My God, have mercy on me. Into your hands I commend my spirit." Archbishop Ignatius Maloyan would be beatified in St. Peter's Basilica by the late Pope John Paul II on October 7th, 2001. In a sermon for the occasion, he said, quote, "Archbishop Maloyan, who died a martyr when he was 46, reminds us of every Christian's spiritual combat, whose faith is exposed to the attacks of evil." Later on, the Vatican City-State commemorated the centennial of Blessed Ignatius Maloyan's martyrdom with a postage stamp that was issued on September 2nd, 2015. There would be another priest who would become a blessed, who was martyred alongside Archbishop Maloyan, and he will be beatified by Pope Francis in Beirut on June 4th, 2022. That man would be Leonard Melky, who we don't know much about, and that's all the time we have for March Martyrs on Blessed Ignatius Maloyan.